So you are a historian and anthropologist. So how did your journey begin as a historian and anthropologist? I know you were exposed to the information at a young age, but how did your journey actually begin with you taking that serious and you getting into the field? And who inspired you? Who are the historians or the anthropologists that inspired you?
Well, I already told you about Chancellor Williams. That was the
Mhm.
biggest one, really. And the reason for that is because this is the first time I studied somebody who not only said we had a history before enslavement, which was news to me at a young
Mhm.
age, but also that African people began to travel out of Africa tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of years before slavery. Say what? That black people went to India and China and Australia and America before Columbus? You serious? So I knew, I wanted to find out what happened to those sisters and brothers. Did they just disappear? Did they
Right.
found civilizations in those places? And so after that, I guess it was Sheikh Anta Diop, the great scholar from Senegal, and Joseph Ben Jochannan and John Henry Clark. A man named John G. Jackson was instrumental.
Mhm.
And then along came Ivan Van Sertima. And I even have a photograph of Ivan I'm going to show you when we do the pictures. But those are some of the badass historians that I interacted with and who shaped and molded me. And I wanted to be like them.
Right. Now that's amazing. So, like, how did you get the chance to work with these historians? Because, like, people in my position or others, and we're looking at historians such as yourself, we're wondering, okay, how do we build these relationships? So, how were you actually able to connect with these historians and build relationships with them?
That's a very good question. And here's an answer I never thought I would give before. But they kind of wanted to work with me. Why?
That's
The same
amazing.
reason I want to work with you. You see something in a younger person, you see potential, you see intelligence, they seem driven, and they want to. They not only admire you, but they want to do something too. They have that same kind of fire, so you nurture that. And I think that that's what some of those scholars did to me. So, like as far back as 1982, I was only about 30 at the time. I started working for, no, I'm not even that old. Anyway, I started working for Ivan Van Sertima. I started writing for him in a book called, it was on the African presence in Sumer in Iraq and Iran. So I did that.
Mhm.
Something on the African presence in Asia. Not too many people were doing that. And then he said, look, Runoko, this is Ivan Van Sertima talking. We're going to do another book, an anthology with a lot of contributors on Black women in antiquity. It's an important market. And we need to celebrate Black women. Well, I jumped on that because I love Black women. And
Right.
so he says, I want you to write an article. You did pretty good in the last one. Write something on African goddesses. So I said, okay. So he says, as a matter of fact, there's another author who is doing an essay in the same book on Isis. So let me send you the essay so you guys don't overlap. And I got the essay, and to be honest with you, I wasn't all that impressed by it. And I edited it in such a manner that ours didn't conflict. And sent it to him. He said, wow, and you can edit too. And I said, yeah. So we began a relationship like that. And I became Ivan's most prolific student. I like to think his best student, but that would really, really be on the arrogant side. But certainly I wrote more for Ivan than anybody else. I was able to travel to Egypt with Joseph Ben Jochannan on 4 occasions. I spent a lot of quality time with John Henry Clark. Their attitude seemed to be, if we find bright young Africans, nurture them and be willing to spend time with them. And we'll see how they blossom and develop. And I did pretty good, I guess you might say.
Yes.